Welcome to the Intercut podcast channel, the weekly place to hear the latest on the movies, TV, and entertainment that people can't cut away from. I am your co-host, Zachary Shevich, and joining me, like Mariah Carey said, we belong together. It's Arturo Zurita.
I'm excited to be here. I don't have all my 05 Chicago White Sox won the World Series. Future foe. 05 was a decent year. I think
05
for
was
movies,
a pretty good
especially. Year. Yeah, it was leading up to, I think right before we started getting the MCU in 08 and everything else. We were still in those stragglers of, Sony has Spider-Man and Fox has their Fantastic Four. And I think we had a lot of, this was, the year of the Oscars where I really started getting into the acting performances. And I have a lot of movies that are honorable mentions just for the acting. But not so much as a heavy contender there, but I'm excited to do this little throwback. What is it, 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years out. Very exciting to talk about 2005, and we're also going to do it with our very own holla back girl, Amanda the Jedi.
What up?
Banana ball.
How was 2005 for you? Was that a good year for you?
It was I think it was I feel like I was I don't know. I was like 15. That was maybe a rough-ish year. Not the worst, not the best, I feel
not
like I
my
hit my
favorite
stride.
period of life.
Yeah, I think I hit my stride a little bit when I started hitting my last year of high school. I kind of went through my emo depressive phase in grade 9 and then reevaluated my entire friend group and lots of transition. It's a transition period of time, Had my first heartbreak around then, right. It's those formative years, but it also was some banger times for those franchise installments and it's crazy looking at this list of movies and most of this is just vibes. I'm not even voting on quality for half of this. It's vibes.
Right. Like Art was saying, we hadn't yet gotten into the superhero takeover for the movies, so this was not just
Which is so funny
period
because 3 of my movies are superhero movies.
Right. I mean, it was not just a period of transition for us personally. It was a period of transition for Hollywood as a whole.
Yeah.
But 20 years out, we are taking a look back at the best movies of 2005. Art, when assembling your list, was there just anything that struck you in terms of Hollywood just doesn't work like this anymore?
I think it does, just not as much as we remember. Mm-hmm. I feel people were making, there's bigger comedies on my list that I feel aren't made the way they are today. That's one of the big things. Yeah. It's there's adaptations on here as well that we're still doing to this day, but a little bit differently. It's not so much an adaptation as it is, let's make something dark. But this would have been the start of it because I have one of the beginnings of a big filmmaker beginning to make dark stuff in the superhero genre. So it's really interesting to see the inception of it because, this would have been the time when nobody had a model of what to copy. And some of this stuff became franchises later, so that's also fascinating to see.
Yeah. I think this is a year for me in which I was really starting to fall in love with film a lot, and really just be invigorated by all the options that 2005 still had to offer for those mid-budget and adult skewing dramas. This was also the first year that I ever went to a film festival. I went to the Cambridge Film Festival.
Oh, look at you,
for a couple days, and saw Steam Boy there of all movies. But yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of ways I'm nostalgic for 2005. Amanda, maybe in different ways, also nostalgic for 2005.
Oh yeah.
Art,
Chris
anything
Rock.
you remember specifically from 2005? You said the Oscars. Chris Rock was the host
Rock
that
hosted
year.
the Oscars that year, and that's where I was a really big fan of Billy Crystal and stuff. But when I saw Chris Rock do it, I was like, oh, okay. It's not just all prestige, artsy fartsy stuff. And I think that was a big factor in the terms of you can be into both. Because I feel, especially for us three, who dive into pretty much all of it, you do have a lot of people raised in just one genre, raised in just one thing that whatever their group likes. So they get scared to hop into other stuff. And I think a big thing that we've always had here on Intercut is that we will enjoy those things and also enjoy this over here. And you're not a nerd for enjoying this. You can also enjoy the bigger stuff. And I think this was a big pivotal moment that you can like something like Sky High and then something like Capote at the same time. So very pivotal to my movie watching journey.
Yeah. Was that the year that Chris Rock made the joke about going to war with the Banana Republic? I think that was
probably, bro. I want to say this was the one. I don't know when White Chicks came out, but they had a segment in the Oscars where they're like, "What should have won?" And every person they met on the street said White Chicks.
Yes, that was a great Oscars. $1 Million Baby was the winner. The Aviator was the
Oscars,
most
bro.
awarded that year. Those are not movies that were released in 2005,
Okay,
so they
had me for a
won't
minute
be
there.
what we're discussing. We're discussing the movies that came out in 2005. But in a little bit, we will talk about the best movies that were released in 2005. But first, make sure you're subscribed to the Intercut podcast, either the video podcast on youtube.com/intercutpod or the audio podcast available on most podcatchers. Also, follow Intercut on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We are at IntercutPod. That is at IntercutPod, and that is short for podcast. Also, you can support the show for as little as $3 a month here on YouTube by clicking the join button on our page to become a member, or going to patreon.com/intercutpod and signing up to join the Intercuties, where you get early access to episodes just like this one, access to an exclusive chat channel on our Discord, and an invitation to our monthly Intercutie video calls, as long as my back is well enough and I can still do them. Thanks to our current patrons, whose names you can see on the screen right now if you're watching us. Our Academy level members are Cademan, Connor, Tushar, May, Ricky, Rob, Mark from Tampa, Max, and David. And our producer level members are Josh, Bleepy, and Nick. Also, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, because if we get to 250 5-star reviews on Apple, we can build a time machine and go back to 2005. It was much simpler times, although I don't know. I don't know if I want to go back to 2005. Maybe as an adult, but I don't want to go back to my 2005 self, right?
I don't know. I might do it.
You would go back and do things over?
Maybe.
Time machine it?
Maybe not all the. No, 2005 is that's a long time. That's a long ways back. Oh man.
I went back to 2005 and I'm buying a house in 08. I'm doing it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Let's launch into our best of 2005 list. I'll get things started with my number 10, and I'm going to go with a movie called Everything Is Illuminated. I don't know if either of you have seen this one. This is the only movie that the actor Liev Schreiber has ever directed, I believe, or at least the only narrative film. Yeah, it's an adaptation of a really good Jonathan Safran Foer novel, and stars Elijah Wood as a young American Jew who travels to Ukraine to sort of find traces of his Jewish family's past after the Holocaust. It also features a performance from Eugene Hoots, I believe his last name is, who is the lead singer of the band Gogol Bordello. He's really fantastic in the film, and a lot of the sort of cultural comedy of like mistranslation and stuff like that is really, really excellent in this film. It's a really interesting movie, just sort of about Jewish identity and the diaspora and being disconnected from your past. It sort of, for me, was like a real pain when I was growing up, the role that movie serves for a lot of people. And Elijah Wood is really good in this one. This is the first time that I really remember seeing him outside of Lord of the Rings. It's also quite a visually stunning movie as well. And the cinematographer is Matthew Libatique, who has gone on to do a lot of really interesting films, including A Star Is Born and Maestro with Bradley Cooper. So yeah, I really like Everything Is Illuminated. I have a lot of nostalgia for that film.
I haven't thought of Gogol Bordello for ages, so thank you. Jeez.
My cousin is a huge fan and has seen them on New Year's for like 3 years in a row or something.
That's so funny. I love that.
They're a good time.
Nice.
We'll listen to some Gogol Bordello together. But anyway, Amanda, what do you have at number 10 on your list?
I'm going to go with my man Wes Craven combined with Kevin Williamson for Cursed.
Oh.
Nice.
We got the werewolf movie. I'm sure you might have thought I was going Red Eye, which honestly could double feature those here. I know, because honestly, Wes Craven had a great year with Cursed and Red Eye. I know they're not always super popular, but Red Eye was ahead of the curve on trashing Dr. Phil, so we got to give it that. But I've always said werewolves are my second favorite things behind vampires, so a Wes Craven movie about werewolves starring Jesse Eisenberg and Christina Ricci is always going to do it. I just remember really loving this movie as when I was younger. I didn't watch it again recently. I think I plan to cover it at some point just to see how it stacks up. I didn't want to find out how it stacked up right now. I just remember really liking it and still liking it the last time I saw it. So we're going to go with Cursed.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a horror movie where it's like it's two orphans. They get attacked by a wolf in LA, and then it's just like this whole thing starts happening when they're trying to figure out what's going on.
I think I missed this one because I was still in my I don't like horror movies phase.
Yeah, I don't think I was in a horror movie phase at the time either, but I think werewolves must have gone over that because I was really into Underworld. So vampires and werewolves could get me around overall complete horror. I wouldn't have seen Scream at this point yet, actually. So this would have been my first Wes Craven movie, actually, I'm realizing in this exact moment.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
The gateway.
It's a historic moment. Mm-hmm. Art, what do you have at number 10 on your list?
I kept fighting between these two. They're both adaptations. I'm going to keep one off because I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have one of these adaptations. So I'm going to go with the one you guys might not have at number 10.
Okay.
Pride and Prejudice, the movie that had its anniversary this year. I knew someone who made me read the book and do the tea parties and everything, so I'm very well versed in Pride and Prejudice. And then afterwards, Pride and Prejudice had that whole zombie slew after we went through the werewolves and the vampires of Twilight. Everyone wanted to make Abraham Lincoln fighting zombies.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
It was a slew of that. Well, before all of that, you did have some really great adaptations, and I think this is one that's held up to it. I think everyone in it has become major stars even after the fact.
Oh, got,
what's his name?
Matthew McFadden, Carey Mulligan, Rosamund Pike.
Yeah. I've yet to see it, actually.
I think you'd like it. I got a copy.
I will watch it. I haven't read the book yet either, and I feel like I want to read the book before I watch the movie. So it's on my list because there's a new one coming out. So I feel like I got to get to it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those where there's so much. But I'd say it has not peaked yet. This is one of the best ones that's out there. I know we also have some of the other stuff that Elordi was going to be doing.
Wuthering Heights.
For Wuthering Heights as well.
Wuthering Heights.
Yeah. I think this was around the time Tom Hardy had his Wuthering Heights too, which I also watched. I watched a lot of these adaptations, but Pride and Prejudice I think holds up.
I believe it.
Thoroughly.
It's one of those ones I'm like, I know this is good and I got to get to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I feel like I got to read the book first. And maybe I should just watch the movie. But I don't know.
The worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't do the book justice and then people look at the book
I've never heard anything bad about that movie.
Exactly. So it's really good.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Pride and Prejudice. Great pick. For my number 9, I'm going to go with a film by the Duplass brothers, The Puffy Chair. This was
told me about this. Yeah.
Want to say it was their first movie, or at least it was the first one that gained a lot of renown. And I think a lot of people credit this as one of the films that sort of started the mumblecore, kind of improvised, low-key dramedy movement. It stars Mark Duplass as well as his real-life wife, Katie Aselton. They play a couple in the film. It also stars Rhett Wilkins as Duplass's friend. The basic premise is that Mark Duplass finds a chair on eBay that looks exactly like the chair that his father used to sit in when they were growing up. So they go on a road trip in order to pick up the chair and deliver it as a birthday gift. But on the way, there are all sorts of trials and tribulations for their friendships and for relationships. The relationships become strained and tested. And I think it's just a really apt and well-observed relationship drama that is quite funny. And also, for me at least, in 2005, seeing this movie and seeing the mumblecore style, it was really a eye-opening experience to see how different a movie could feel and look, and how, it doesn't necessarily have to feel very put together, and it could have this kind of loose nature. So I think just because it felt so unique to me at the time, it's a film that's really stayed with me. And I also think it's got this very stunning ending that I've always wanted to discuss with someone, but I don't think I know anybody else who's seen this movie. So you guys are going to catch up on the Puffy Chair, and we'll talk about what happens at the end of the movie.
I was going to say, you're going for these artsy, lesser than known movies, and I'm just going on straight vibes. I'm like, what did I love in 2005? And one of those movies is Lords of Dogtown. Catherine Hardwicke, director of Twilight, puts together a skateboard movie about the origin of skateboarding culture in the 1970s with like Peralta and the Z-Boys and Tony Alva and all that stuff going on. I just remember like Emile Hirsch was in this randomly, you know, before he kind of had his big thing. Nikki Reed, who was like constantly in Catherine Hardwicke projects, and Heath Ledger actually also in this for a brief moment. I just remember really liking this as one of those ones that I, you know, will put on anytime. I still own it on DVD. Again, haven't watched it in a while, but I know it meant a lot to me back then, and that earns it a spot on this list. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Lords of Dogtown.
A while ago, bro. It's a good cover.
Yeah, I don't think since the 2000s, but I remember that one. I feel like I remember that being a relatively indie pick.
Yeah, decent. I feel like it did. I don't know. Whatever happened, it reached us. It reached me where I live. So it must have done something. I just don't think it was like super well received critically, and I don't know how it landed for people in terms of general enjoyment.
Great young cast.
Great young class. Oh, 81% with audiences. The critics were wrong about this one. So okay.
Look, I mean, these lists are ultimately going to be reflections of the kinds of people we were, maybe a little bit too. So I think it'll be interesting to see.
It's fun. That's what I'm trying to go for, because I'm like, there's a bunch of really good movies that I've seen since then from 2005, but I didn't watch them back then. So I'm kind of going for a mix, a little mix.
Nice. Art, what do you have at 9?
Something I don't want to copy you with the Puffy Chair or Lords of Dogtown. I was right in between there. Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, was outstanding to me back when they still had all the clay in the world to use. This got nominated as well, and I remember just being so ecstatic of like, yo, this is like, they're still making stop motion in the craziest degree, and I was a big fan of Wallace and Gromit. I think right before this Chicken Run would have come out.
Yeah, a couple of years before.
To oblivion from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So, this one came in and it was everything I wanted and more from an animation. I don't think they've topped this either, which is very difficult to do. But the fact that they're still going to this day, like we just had one, is awesome. So, Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
I have Curse of the Were-Rabbit as like my number 11. That's my top honorable mention.
Yeah, dude.
Literally
I love
never
that
seen
movie.
it.
Oh, it's so good. If you like
so
any
awesome.
of that Aardman style of claymation,
I'm weird with that. I'm weird with claymation, so that's why I haven't seen it. So
I would still recommend it because I agree with Art. I think this is probably the best they've ever done.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah. All right, so it's back to me for my number 8, and I'll just mention it briefly because I'm pretty confident it's at least on Art's list, if not Amanda's as well. I got Batman Begins.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So, Amanda, what do you have at 8?
I'm going to go with a different comic book adaptation, Sin City. Which I felt was
honorable mention for me as well.
A really unique take. Like honestly, we talk about like the 2005 comic book movies being really bad because you think of like the Electras and the Fantastic Fours, which didn't hold up as well. But there was some really unique stuff going on at the time, and Sin City is one of those. They shot it with the black and white, but with the pop of color to the point that then became a trend in like pictures and stuff for people doing the like individual colors. I think they did it super well. This is also when like Jessica Alba was at like her peak of like. You know, she was the thing.
We know.
You know, I know. You know. But that was so you get her in this, and I just think that they put the story together really well and really creative. And I don't know, it just had no business committing as hard as it did to that graphic novel style for the time. So earns a spot here. Loved it back then. Again, one I haven't really seen in a while, but I love it.
Yeah, I mentioned Elijah Wood before. He's got a very memorably creepy performance in Sin City as well, but a really excellent cast. I mean, Mickey Rourke is fun in this movie. Bruce Willis, Rosario Dawson. This is one of the original movies that got me to love Carla Gugino as well. She looks incredible in this film.
Come on,
Brittany Murphy too before she passed.
Yeah. And you know, it's just such a visually striking film. Back when, you know, this whole comic book adaptation thing still felt fairly novel, it really embraced going for that stylistic vibe that like the black and white with the splashes of colors in it. I wish we got more movies adapted from comics that would go for this kind of unique art style or like a at least a more distinctive palette.
Yeah, sometimes it takes it, because that's how it is in the comic books themselves. And I think what helps with that one being adapted that way is because it was directed by both Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, and Frank Miller is the author and I think also the artist of Sin City. So I think he does it all. So that makes sense that he, you know, that it would stick up to that. So very good.
And for this to be one of the
Cincinnati's
early
a
ones,
really
it's
good pick.
crazy because Frank got like every BVS is taking from Frank. A lot of the Vertigo adaptations and dark and gritty stuff
so
comes from
much
Frank's
is
art
yanked.
style. So
Yeah,
to see
so
this
much
as
is
one of the
yanked.
first adaptations, easily. Runaway hit.
And like some of the best Batman stuff is pulled from him with like Dark Knight Returns. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Art, what you got at 8?
I've got the dumbest comedy on this list, bro. I don't know how it's aged. Dude.
Ooh.
I might got it on my list too.
I'm putting Wedding Crashers on this list. What are you
Dude,
talking
no,
about, bro?
no joke. We should wait and talk about it. We gotta
Let's
wait
wait
and
to
talk about it. We gotta
I
wait.
love
wait a little
Wedding
bit more.
Crashers, okay?
Yeah.
Me
yes.
too. Me too. We gotta wait.
Oh,
We
damn.
will definitely talk about Wedding Crashers.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I was a little worried. I want to
My-
get canceled.
No one's getting canceled.
We're
for
all
that pick.
subscribed. Got it.
Yeah,
No, I watch
if-
it at least once a year. So like,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, bro, I
it's that
If
quote
you're
it all
getting
the time.
canceled, we're all getting
we're all
canceled.
getting
Art.
canceled.
All right, my
beautiful.
number 7, I am going with the Miranda July film, Me and You and Everyone We Know. Have either of you seen this one?
I didn't realize that was.
This is a Sundance pick for next year, right?
And what?
Or did it go
Miranda
out?
July? No, it's
That is
2005,
Miranda
it is.
July, and it is 2005. Yeah.
Oh, I don't
I
think the
wanna
year's
say
the
this is
problem.
her
We wouldn't have heard about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man. I mean,
didn't
this
see
is the
it.
reason
I
why
know the
I was
name, but-
excited for Cajillionaire is because
I remember,
I
yeah.
have this love for Miranda July from this film. One of the first movies that I ever remember tackling the internet and relationships derived from the internet, and so the weird ambiguity around it. I mean, there is like a catfish that happens in this movie before the term catfish was a term.
Wow.
And it's just got all the signatures of a Miranda July film. It's got the sort of like emotional ennui and existential crisis and quirky kind of comedy. A really fantastic lead performance from her, and then John Hawkes in this movie as well. But there's just all sorts of like unique, really strange comedy in it that has stuck with me. I don't know why, but because of Miranda July, the phrase "pooping back and forth" is in my brain forever. So thanks to her for that. I would highly
why you
recommend you
always
check
say
out
it.
this movie. I'd highly recommend the movie. It's a really moving drama, but also just has some really unique laughs in it as well. And I just think the tone is ultimately similar to how Cajillionaire felt like almost too precious. This is another film that feels like too precious for this world.
Okay.
Me
You have it
and
higher?
You and Everyone We Know.
Nice.
Think of Jillionaire?
I think I might like Cajillionaire a little bit more, but they're pretty close. They're pretty equal in my eyes.
Nice.
Your first one, Puffy Chair, was playing on Tubi. This one, I think, is AMC,
Ah.
but it's on YouTube. The whole thing's on YouTube. So if anybody wants to check it
There
out.
you go.
Nice.
Yeah, easy to catch up with. Amanda, number 7.
I don't know. This might be on someone's list higher, but I think I'm gonna go with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
It is definitely higher on my list.
Cool. We'll talk about it later.
Art, number 7.
There was a up-and-coming filmmaker named Steven Spielberg who made his version of War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
This
That
year,
is also higher on my list.
as I expected.
Damn.
To be. Perfect.
Crazy.
Yeah, great. All right, so we are back to me again for number 6. Do either of you have 40-Year-Old Virgin on your lists?
Honorable. Damn, and it
Almost-
just got
almost
the
there.
re-release right now. Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
I mean, if we're just talking about the most quotable movie of 2005, it might be this one.
Yeah, I love it.
There are many quotes that I feel like are not necessarily appropriate for this podcast, but I have them
They're
burned in
also
my brain.
wrong, bro. They don't feel like sandbags. I don't.
Just
movie was
in
out of
terms
pocket.
of the cast for this film,
Yeah.
it is so stacked. Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, Catherine Keener, Elizabeth Banks, Jonah Hill. I mean, the list really goes on and on and on. But it's such a hilarious comedy. Was that part of that whole moment where Judd Apatow felt like he was the king of comedy. It was a good summer to laugh at the movies between 40-Year-Old Virgin and Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and it's also the only reason why the U.S. Office kept going. It's like, because that was starting to like fizzle out, and then Steve Carell became such a big deal because of 40-Year-Old
Right.
Virgin that people started watching The Office, and by then, thankfully, they'd got their footing, and they were really able to just steamroll that out for the many seasons we got.
Yeah, so an important tent pole for American comedy.
Now we got the paper.
All right. Maybe the less said about the paper, the better. Amanda, number 6.
Does anybody have V for Vendetta?
That was my honorable tie mention that I was hoping you'd mention. So perfect.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go V for Vendetta again. I was just really into comic book stuff most of my life. So especially, and then back then there was just so much different stuff coming out. V for Vendetta is what I would consider to be the best adaptation of Alan Moore. He hates it, but I think it's really good. I thought it was a great adaptation. Fantastic performance out of Natalie Portman on this one. Yeah, I just feel like it really holds up over time, and it led to a bunch of people with the remember the 5th of Vendetta. Yeah, of course, in the mask and everything. Oh, I didn't realize that the Wachowskis wrote the screenplay for it, or I forgot that fact.
Yeah,
which is very cool. Alan Moore disliked this one so much that it doesn't say that it's based on the work of Alan Moore. It says based on the work of David Lloyd, who I believe is the artist. So
sure. Hey, Kubrick don't like The Shining either, but we like them both. So
I know, just great performances from everyone in this. Really good look at fascism in countries and
which isn't really a relevant topic anymore, sadly.
No, it's not
but
relevant at all.
Bro.
I also watched Good Night and Good Luck. Definitely nothing relevant there at all either.
Yeah.
But I just think that so much of this has held up culturally, and unfortunately, we're just kind of seeing some stuff kind of like spin back around for stuff that in this movie would have felt ridiculous at the time that it was coming out. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, great pick.
Yeah, I mean, there are things like, obviously a lot of the text comes from the graphic novel, and the Guy Fawkes mask predated the movie, but I do think the film was able to launch a lot of these ideas into public consciousness in a way that has really resonated and continues to resonate. Like, I was in Prague earlier this year, and they got guys in Guy Fawkes masks, the V for Vendetta masks, advertising a bar there.
Incredible.
Like, it's just a huge part. Like, Anonymous still uses it too, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, they do. That's their whole thing.
Exactly. So it's like a hugely culturally relevant property and a really entertaining movie as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And another one that stylistically I feel like feels a little bit more unique than the other stuff that would have been coming up at the time.
We need more Vertigo adaptations. Because that was like DC's brand that did stuff. Now it's DC Black.
Yeah.
Nah. No.
Yeah. Also felt like when Natalie Portman decided to shave her head for this movie, it was like a huge deal.
Massive deal.
Because people don't even do that now. Guys won't even do that.
Yeah.
Well, Emma Stone did it apparently for Begonia, but I don't think it's like not talked about the same way. I don't know.
Yeah, it's passed up. Yeah, because right after it would have been, when was Les Miserables?
9?
Right? So
Something
it's
like that.
was still getting the peak of like, she shaved her hair. So if this predates that, you're right. People were going crazy.
Yeah.
Especially what Natalie Portman meant to people growing up with her.
Absolutely. Because that was a big year for her. Which
who
we'll get to.
shaved their head first, Natalie Portman or Britney Spears?
I think it was Natalie. I think Britney shaved her head in like 2008. When did...
So did this movie influence Britney Spears to shave her head?
Unbelievable. That's why she had the Guy Fawkes.
2007.
There we go.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, what do you have at number 6 on your list?
The Last Good Biopic, Walk the Line.
Did that come out in 2005?
Yeah, it's an honorable mention for me.
Why did that not show up on anything I looked at? That's so weird.
I fell in love with Joaquin Phoenix in this movie. I think it's Reese Witherspoon's best role if you're not counting Legally Blonde. And I was a massive Johnny Cash fan back in the day, bro. Massive. I believe Johnny Cash has the best cover of all time. And I thought this movie killed it in every way, shape, or form. Obviously, with it also having the best parody film based off of it, I don't think it takes away from it. I think that's an honor, bro.
I agree.
The Dewey Cox one, Walk Hard.
Yeah, Walk Hard.
It's playing off of this one, but I think this one still holds up. It's worthy of the nominations, and I also think it's what's his name's best film.
Yeah, James Mangold.
Yeah, I think it's his best film. I know some people say Wolverine or the Logan, but I love Walk the Line.
I would agree with you on James Mangold for sure. I mean, this is like the definitive music biopic in a lot of ways, and not just because, as you said, it became the parody point for Walk Hard.
Yeah,
it's just
Ray
a
then
really
came out.
excellent movie.
Yeah,
Ray was right before this.
Yeah, and I feel Walk Hard makes more fun of Ray than it does Walk the Line.
Kind of equal.
It just took the name. The name was more popular to go with Walk Hard. Yeah, but you know it's good because when Uncompleted Unknown was being made, everyone was like, "Why are you've already done it. Why are you trying to do it again? Because you can't. You can't do it again."
Yeah, and that's a great example. It kind of showcases to you he did it better in 05.
Yeah.
Walk the Line, also a really important movie soundtrack. Joaquin and Reese actually singing those songs and singing them really beautifully.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Just didn't realize. I don't know why it didn't pop up when I was looking at 2005 movies.
I'm always holding that when people don't sing because it's like, well,
right.
Little old Art. he saw people get nominated for singing, and now I'm supposed to see Freddie Mercury lip sync. No.
Yep.
Yeah. Walk the Line is a great pick. Art's number 6. My number 5. I'm going to go with a movie that I feel like was not particularly accoladed at the time, but I think it's held up pretty well. I am going with Jarhead. Is this on either of your lists?
Almost.
It was an honorable mention.
I only realized this morning that it was 2005, and I didn't want to redo my list, so.
Yeah.
No, Jarhead's good, dude.
Yeah.
Jarhead is really good. I feel like pretty underrated. The Sam Mendes movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal and really memorably Peter Sarsgaard in a supporting performance that I thought honestly should have been an Oscar nomination, but alas was not to be. A really unique war film in that it is kind of not a war film. It's more of a film about not going to war and the sort of madness of being caught in that limbo. But also just a really powerful film about the psychological effects of going through this military process takes on these young men. And one of the first films that I can remember that really addressed the difficulties that these men experience once they leave the armed forces. Great Gyllenhaal performance, a lot of really amazing visuals. This is a early Roger Deakins film that for me like made him like a god. You know, some of the shots in this film, I think there's this one dream sequence where Gyllenhaal is like throwing up sand into the sink that I still feel like grossed out by. It's just a film that I think has really stood the test of time and has a lot of really interesting elements to it. I like Jarhead quite a bit.
That's a great pick.
It's a great one.
Thanks. Amanda, 5?
Yeah, my number 5, I'm going to go with Brokeback Mountain. This was one of the ones I did rewatch for this list. It hits just as hard. Obviously, a very important and divisive piece of media at the time, especially having 2 actors to the caliber of Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, you know, being gay. Because people were weird, and it turned into a huge joke. And I remember, wasn't it Clint Eastwood that was like, "I won't see that" or something? Or did he say that about Power of the Dog, or both?
I don't remember, but I
One
wouldn't
of
be
them was like,
surprised
"I
if it
don't want
was
to see cowboys doing this," but Brokeback Mountain's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of like I think it was con interviews going around with Heath Ledger answering questions of people, because a lot of people were like, "This is disgusting," blah blah blah, because they're just so unwilling to just engage with a movie that it was just about like 2 people trying to find love in a world where they couldn't be themselves authentically. I think it's really good. Really great performances. I think Heath Ledger really shines in this with just like the subtleties of how he does certain things and moves around certain things. The scene when he's at Gyllenhaal's parents' house towards the end is like breaks me every time. It's just a really solid movie. It got a lot of accolades at the time for very good reason, and I think it definitely holds up.
It's fascinating that 05 it got pushed back, and then by 2017, Moonlight and that whole debacle ended up becoming like their saving grace. Yeah, times change so fast.
I know, right?
Yeah. And really, like, it feels like history would have been a lot better had it ended up taking Best Picture over Crash. But
there's so many things that should have taken.
This is Crash.
This is the Crash year. There's so many things that should have won. It's kind of crazy.
What the hell?
Yeah. This is one that I wanted to revisit and just didn't have time for, but it is a really excellent movie. So great pick, Brokeback Mountain. Art, what's your number 5?
It was alluded to subtly, but I'm going with the other Wes Craven. Red Eye had me up all night.
Hell
I think
yeah.
it might be the start of my insomnia. I absolutely adore this movie.
It's so good.
I think they both knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
This is my plane movie. I know people like Flight Plan, bro. People like...
Nah, this is the one.
Yeah, this is the one. I'm not even going to name other ones. Red Eye is everything you need it to be and more. Killian kills it in this role. I mean, this was the peak of what's her name, Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams is having a great year.
Yeah, you're just following her thoroughly. Like you're in that zone. The concept of a red eye. Well, this is also how I learned it. I was like, so
same.
airplanes just don't stop.
Yeah.
Like they're really flying overnight. Like
I didn't watch it at the time, but this was a movie I wanted to know what happened, and it's so bad that I had to like try looking it up at like on computers and stuff just to see what was happening because I like just didn't watch horror movies at the time.
Yeah.
So
no, this is fantastic. I love this one. It's nice and tight. Hour 25.
Yeah.
It's not even rated R, but to me,
That's
the
how
horrible
Wes
stuff
Craven
was
gets in and
happening on
out.
screen. Yeah, Wes Craven's the GOAT. I miss him.
Me too.
And got to honor him right here. Red Eye, one of the best thrillers. Easily one of the things that should pop up on a list when people want to know what's a good 90-minute thriller to catch. This is it,
Absolutely.
the epitome of it.
I literally only picked Curse over this one because I saw Curse the year it came out, and I did not see Red Eye until like quite a while later.
Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, a perennially underloved actors, and
Yes.
you know,
I
still
love her enough
putting in
for
great work.
everyone.
All right, nice pick with Red Eye. For my number 4, I am going with Noah Baumbach's The Squid and the Whale. One of the definitive movies about being a child of divorce. I think it was my introduction to Jesse Eisenberg, at least.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and just a fantastic cast with Jeff Daniels, Laura Linney, young Owen Klein before he would go on to direct Funny Pages.
He would be the kid with the book, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
in this movie, correct? Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
This is a great pick, dude. I saw this 10 years later. So I
Same.
didn't count it. This is a
20
great
years
pick.
later for me, I just saw it.
I think
mean,
this
it's-
is like one of his best.
It's great.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a great portrait of these, you know, adults who kind of let their own egos and stuff get in the way of their family's health. I think the Jeff Daniels character is like one of the most aggravating characters I can remember in film.
And I love the way that Jesse Eisenberg just like anything he does is gospel and God. And it's like the younger kid who's all like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm a
It's also
Philistine.
exactly. It's also one of the movies that I think really diagnoses that particular kind of like snooty intellectual in a way that
Yes.
I was novel to me, at least when I saw it. I think it's a really excellent movie. It has
I
a
agree.
pretty big impact in me, and I love it quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
Squid and the Whale, my number 4.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can't tell if Cursed was my first with Eisenberg or The Village. I can't remember which one I ended up seeing first, but yeah, that was a good little run for an intro to Jesse Eisenberg. Good range.
Yeah, definitely. It's been one of my favorites for a while.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, Baumbach also wading into divorce before he does it
God.
excellently again in
Yeah.
Marriage Story, but that's kind of his bag. He's
Yeah.
our foremost depictor of it.
And yeah,
It's bad.
unfortunately, but I respect anybody who's willing to show themselves,
Right, what
portray
you know.
themselves in that way, I guess.
Yeah, it's also interesting because it feels like this is sort of the child perspective of divorce, and then he goes on for the adult perspective of divorce.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but that brings it to my number 4, which I don't know, could be seen as perhaps there's a divorce of types in this. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. You got to go with it. You got to go
You
with
have
it.
to go
It
with
could
it.
even be higher on my list, but I got some interesting choices for my top 2. But no, this is like, you can't see it right now, but I am a Phantom Menace truther. It's right behind me here. Yes, I am a Phantom Menace. I love Phantom Menace so much.
Amanda the Jedi?
Jedi?
No, no, no,
The
no,
Jedi?
no, no,
This
no,
is,
no, no.
but yeah, but it's
doesn't
such
add up.
It's such a dumb fucking
So
name that I
confused.
don't even think applies to me anymore. But for the for the prequels, I'm there for it. And Revenge of the Sith was a fantastic way to cap off that trilogy. So many iconic moments that have both worked for just being really good as a movie, but then also like so many memeable moments that we've gotten.
You
over
were
the
the
year. Like,
chosen one.
You're the chosen one. Like how many like. Fucking, I
You're
have the high ground
ground.
jokes. Yeah, how many I have the high ground jokes? You're breaking my heart. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many moments in this that are just iconic. So I have to put it on this list. It's also like one of the handful of movies I've seen with my dad in a theater, just me and him,
That's fine.
Nice.
along with Phantom Menace. He doesn't like Star Wars. That's just what he brought me to.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's because I wanted to see Star Wars and my mom didn't want to, and then she had to listen to an 8-year-old recount Phantom Menace to her. So I don't know. I'm a big fan. It's a defining moment of that era, and again, one of the reasons why Natalie Portman was having such a good 2005.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I have that at 13.
Oh, nice.
It was like I didn't care for the first one or the second one. Like I like
love
really.
both.
I'm the opposite of you.
I love them
went into
both.
this one. We went to Walmart before, and I still have it somewhere. I wish I had it on hand.
Mm.
I still have my Obi-Wan Kenobi Lego set lightsaber. It lights up. I don't know what powers
I have
him.
one of those. Yeah.
Bro,
I was Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Since '05, this thing still works. I thought
Yeah.
the movie was incredible
It's
when I
incredible.
first saw it. It
Yeah.
blew me away. And then,
Yeah.
like, I couldn't fake being a Star Wars fan, and I just did not stand a chance in those circles. It's like
fine.
watching it for Super Bowl and then realizing, like, I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing about this.
But I thought it did it. Like, all the hate the prequels get,
Yeah.
y'all got to be honest. Number 3 was kind of fire.
I like
It's
them all.
dope.
I can defend all of them. Even the second one, I just feel like I always hit the right age when they were coming out that they all worked for me, and they just still work for me. So
Is this your
Yeah.
favorite of the prequel trilogy,
No.
or you can't choose?
Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace
Oh,
is legitimately
really?
my favorite Star Wars. It is my first Star Wars movie. It remains to be my favorite Star Wars movie. Nothing beats Duel of the Fates. You know,
Well,
nothing
oh,
beats
yeah.
that whole
I've
fucking
heard,
scene.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
beats that scene. That is literally the best scene that has ever been in any Star Wars thing ever. They've never been able to top it. Combination of the choreography and the soundtrack. You can't beat that. Also, I was a kid. I liked being like, oh my God, I could be a Jedi. Like some guy could come and steal me from my homeworld too. You know, it's like years later, I'm like, oh my God, the Jedi were like child slavery rings. Like,
That's funny, bro.
but yeah, no, big fan of all three of them. But
What's
Revenge
his
of the
name?
Sith, I think, is like arguably the best quality.
What's
you
Anakin's
know?
first name? Real name?
Anakin?
Actor?
Oh,
Yeah, the
Jake
actor.
Jake Lloyd, the early one, or Hayden Christensen? Hayden Christensen.
thank you.
Hayden Christensen.
He did the first pitch at the Cubs game, and they made him
Yeah, I
a special
saw.
shirt. Okay, you saw it? If you saw
Yeah.
it, then Zach already knows, but I got to show it to you, Amanda.
Please,
This
I
man went
didn't
up
see
there.
it.
He did his first pitch. He did the first pitch with. Oh, he did the first pitch by himself. He then went and did the national anthem with his daughter. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Out of nowhere, I go to a Chicago Sky game because someone got me tickets and support women, Zach. Guess who's there? George Lucas is on the court, like, being praised because they're all there this weekend for Comic-Con. I had no idea that's what they were all there
cool.
for. So we just had a massive Star Wars weekend. Amanda, I guess I'm just sending you the whole Google thing.
That's
Look at
fine.
what they did. A custom-made.
Oh.
I got the blues right here.
Yeah.
They gave him number 66, bro. He looks so cool in the shirt as well.
That's cool.
It was awesome. This man
hell yeah.
still has everybody, Alina's cousin, obsessed with the man. Has not washed the pen that he signed for her a couple years ago.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
everything about this movie was firing on all cylinders. Amanda, you need to make a reverse Plinkett review.
A reverse.
The Half in the Bag Boys,
Yeah.
like what
Go
they
the-
did, you need to make the opposite, but out of love.
Yeah,
Not out of
no, I
spite, like,
agree.
made them famous.
Yeah. I should do that.
I think we're due that time. I feel like a lot of people look back at them and go, nah, this is George Bush era politics. This is
Yeah.
like actually
what I
getting into the
mean.
ins and outs of stuff. So
I liked that stuff. Even though when I was 8 and didn't really understand it, and yeah, maybe it's dumb, but I was 8 and I was like, this is so cool. It's so smart.
Yeah. Well, but as George Lucas has pointed out, like, these are kids' movies, and,
Yeah.
and maybe it's not
mean,
important
yeah.
how the
fight
adults
'em.
felt about them. It's more important how the kids felt about them.
Absolutely.
I'm obviously not as big of a Star Wars fan as either of you, and I can't say this about most of the movies on my list, but I can say it about Star Wars. I remember exactly where I was in the theater, which theater exactly I
Yeah.
saw
Oh, yeah.
it in. It was a
One of those.
gigantic event. Like, it's rare to feel like you are definitely witnessing some history when you're going to see a movie, but that was a historic moment
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
think this is actually only one of 3 movies on this list that I would have seen in a theater.
really, wow.
Yeah.
Says something for sure. Art, is there significance to the number 66? Am I being slow?
Order 66. Execute
Oh,
Order
okay,
66 is when they
There we
start
go.
killing all the Jedi.
They
and
killed all the
younglings.
kids at the Wrigley Field, bro. It was crazy.
It was very crazy.
One
They
by
lined
one.
them up and just started pelting them with baseballs.
Yeah, they said, whose first timer game is this? They just lined them up. That's crazy to call it, to put 66 on it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Art, what you got for number 4?
I technically had Batman Begins. I'm okay putting it here. It is one of the ones that
Okay.
continues to rise. I'm going
Okay.
with
Cool.
Nolan's
Well,
Batman
Nice.
Begins.
I think we'll talk
I'm
about
cool
that
with it being
more in a
Yeah.
little bit anyway.
Yeah.
So that brings us back to my number 3, and I have Wedding Crashers. Amanda, are we talking about that? Are we talking about Batman?
No, it's higher. It's higher.
All right, so then let's go back to Amanda's number 3.
Batman Begins.
Okay,
go.
let's talk about that.
What do you have,
yeah.
Zach? Or honorable?
I had it at 8. You had it at 6, and Amanda's now got it at 3.
3. Yeah,
let's
it's just solid. Like, this is like what I consider. I get that Batman's changed a lot through the years, but this was the one that really felt like a defining version of a Batman that could place him where he's kind of fallen in the comic books and where he's ended up, and like how he's like this perfect counter to like the vibrant Superman. I love the new one as well. Like, I'm a really big fan of the Batman, but I don't think that version of Batman exists without Nolan's work in Batman Begins and Dark Knight. I think it's just like super solid movie. Yeah. I think it holds up to really amazing performances. Christian Bale, I feel like when he was cast, people didn't see it. And then I think he
lost so much weight with the
for Machinist.
The Machinist, he's a psychopath.
People didn't see it, and then before that, the biggest would have been American Psycho. So people were like, "Really, this is our?" Because before you'd had like Clooney, it's like this is who we're gonna have as Batman, but
true.
Proved everybody wrong. It's just a solid movie, and it is one of the ones I saw in theaters.
Was he the first non-American Batman? Feels
Val?
like it, right?
Probably.
Like
George. Yeah, Adam West.
Adam West, it would have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and I thought he was great as Batman. Yeah. It's also just cool, especially when you compare it to the Schumacher films and the Burton films. Like, this was the first Batman we got on the big screen that really felt like it was in the real world to an extent.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, it is still a superhero movie, but Nolan kind of grounded the film in a way that felt really novel, I think, for superhero films at the time.
Absolutely.
There's something like kind of mythic to his whole like origins in this movie that feels different even than what we normally get from origins in a superhero movie. It's just a really cool film and uses like interesting environments that are unexpected. And I don't know, man, Nolan is just a very, very strong filmmaker and is able to bring these very fantastical ideas and communicate them in tangible ways with Batman Begins.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, without it, I don't think you get Iron Man. I don't think you get the Logans of the world. All these movies that were able to be there. Because even in the structure of it, in having a bad guy who isn't really the bad guy, he's kind of there in the background. So they have like a secondary villain outside of Ra's, which is Scarecrow. It's like you end up seeing that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like, I'm just the buffer until this guy, and he did it seamlessly. I love Dark Knight the most, but you always have the hipsters who say like, no, Batman Begins is so much better. So you go back and rewatch and you're like, for a second, I might be one of those hipsters too.
I fell there a bit for a while, but I just think that like Dark Knight just has too many iconic moments, and it's too much of like this perfect blend, and you get the perfect Joker counter to his character.
It's insane.
But Batman Begins is really solid. I think it's also like for a while it was overlooked. I feel like people didn't think it was as good as it actually is. So it's cool that people dig it.
I saw this one at a drive-in theater, so I was really I was supporting all cineplexes of any kind.
Nice.
But I love Batman Begins. Shout out Batman Begins.
Oh yeah.
Also, Gotham's never looked like this in a while.
Was this one shot in Chicago also? Yeah.
It's some like plates and stuff, but they like because there's like a whole L system around that they're like working with.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like more like the Batman, whereas the Dark Knight does feel like Chicago, and I think Dark Knight was Philly. Yeah.
Or Pittsburgh was Dark Knight Rises, right?
Pittsburgh, yeah, my bad. Wrong Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right, so Batman Begins, it's Amanda's number 3, it's Art's number 6, and it was my number 8. The first movie we've had on all 3 of our lists.
Wow.
But there's another one coming up.
Hey.
Not going to get to it yet. Art, what do you have at number 3?
It better be the other one. Where's Coach Carter on y'all's list?
Sadly, and it's an honorable mention. But
Coach Carter
tell us about
That's that movie for me and my friends. I got 2 sports movies up at the top, and while the other one is the better one, this is probably the most rewatched one that my group has had. We used to like do edits to Coach Carter, like the songs and stuff that were in there. I think it's one of Samuel L. Jackson's, not his best role, but like his funniest, like most. I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson. I'm gonna take all that back. I'm starting to think of Pulp Fiction. Yeah, you know, it's just he's just too good. He's in everything, and in Coach Carter in particular, he takes what is your average story of these kids who can't really make it, and he's able to like push them there. He just does it so effortlessly. And it was our sports movie coming up. I've had it over Remember the Titans and a lot of the other Coach type movies that have been out there. to me, it's the epitome of like what Hoosiers was to people back in the day. This is what Coach Carter was to my generation right here.
Nice.
So shout out Coach Carter.
Yeah, probably maybe the most lovable Sam Jackson has been in a movie. Not that he's doesn't have his hard edges in this either, but
the most encouraging he's been. Yeah.
There we go.
And he put the Avengers together, but he didn't put up a team like this, bro.
Who you got? Coach Carter or Denzel's coach in Remember the Titans?
Gotta go Denzel for me. At least.
Maybe go Denzel, but two different sports. Two different sports.
Yeah. Look, I'm just trying to see. Like that's my inspirational sports figure. But a lot of people go Coach Carter.
Yeah.
But that's how you know how good Denzel is. I hate football.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
So
yeah.
I like football movies because you can keep things fun. It's like I also don't want to watch tennis.
We knew football was back because Netflix had radio in the top 10. Yeah, I see Cuba Gooding Jr. pushing the cart.
Not radio.
Oh dear Lord.
Sadly, Radio
Football.
is not a 2005 movie, or we would get more into it.
What is radio? 02?
It gotta be something
03.
like that.
03. Before we each get into our top twos, do either of you have any honorable mentions that you want to quickly run through?
Yeah.
Amanda, hit us
Other
with
than
them.
stuff you guys would have already mentioned with like 40-Year-Old Virgin and stuff, I got to go with a couple more franchise stuff with the first Chronicles of Narnia, which I really think is great to the point that I was even like, why are we getting Greta to redo this? Like, this is really good. Like, it's so good. So, yeah, I think that's a lovely movie. Constantine, I was always like a big fan of that. I know no one liked Constantine.
I
thought it got
people want
a bad rap. I thought it was
it got a bad
all right.
rap. I think it's a bad Constantine movie, but what it ends up being is a very good movie for what it is for the time. So a big fan of Constantine.
We really had a lot of comic book adaptations back in the day.
No,
Damn.
that's what I mean, because we're not even talking about like the really bad ones, or like I liked Fantastic Four at the time, but no one would think to put it on a list. I think Elektra came out in 2005. Like it was like there's a lot coming out that year. Harry Potter 4 would have come out. Goblet of Fire, you know, so that's a classic there. Then outside that, I'm gonna go with The Descent, which I think obviously did not watch at the time because I didn't like horror at the time, but when I did catch up on it, fantastic horror movie, very
love that
claustrophobic,
movie. Yeah.
really stacks up well. Waiting as a really solid comedy with Ryan Reynolds. There's some scenes in that
was a
I
moment.
can't watch. That was a
How's
moment.
he doing?
How's he doing? You know?
We're still waiting for him to go back to the good stuff.
Was it the goat that they called the like showing your balls to other people in that movie?
Yeah, the goat, yeah.
Unfortunately popular move in my high school, but
Of course,
yeah.
of course. So that's a good one. And then I really liked Thank You for Smoking at the time. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember loving that movie, so I'm interested to see if it stacks up.
I really wrestled with having that in my top 10 because I thought that was the peak of satire in 2005.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I am significantly more in touch with what satire should be now than then. But I mean, Aaron Eckhart was great in that movie. There's some pretty funny moments. I wouldn't be surprised if some of it holds up. Jason Reitman directed that.
Yeah. Just got to visit it again.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Yeah. Art, any honorable mentions?
I had mentioned Sky High, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I was done. I was cooked.
Yep.
I didn't care. There are two versions of her in this movie. I'll take either. Sky High, fantastic movie. You weren't into horror, Zach, and I'm looking at the scores on this. I guess not a lot of people like this hide and seek movie with Dakota Fanning and Robert De Niro.
I totally forgot about that.
You know what's
Oh my
really
God.
funny? I always remember that as the first horror movie I saw in a theater. I actually went and saw that one.
Oh, wow.
Creeped the hell out of me.
Robert
because
De
my little
Niro?
sister-
Yeah. I
my
forgot
little
about that
sister
movie.
used to like talk to imaginary friends, so
Damn. Yeah. Famke
the horror
Johnson
never-
in that too.
horror never stopped after this. Oh yeah, she was on a run too.
Yeah. All the
that was
X-Men
good.
stuff. Yeah, she's good.
Gotta give some love to Hitch. I mean, this
Oh,
is a
yeah,
comedy
Hitch.
that's just right on the cusp.
Yeah, I
that I
found
would
out a
have put in
fun
there.
fact about Hitch yesterday. There's a line in the first Paramore album for one of the songs Hayley Williams was struggling with, and she just takes a line from Hitch, and that like opened up the rest of the lyrics. So it's still there. There's
so
like,
funny.
yeah. So fun fact.
And I'm glad you brought back up Paramore because I could use the word earlier. Did they split?
No, we don't know yet. I hope not.
She put up like secret music. I don't know if you guys caught that too.
She
It's like
does solo projects a lot, and the music's really good. But she was just on a podcast with the drummer and promoting him. But we're not sure. There's like a rumor that she might have broken up with Taylor York, but we don't know. I hope not, because they're really good, and all of the music that they've done through the years, but we will have to see. But she does a
That
lot of
ego-
solo stuff. Like she had done 2 solo albums during the pandemic, I'm pretty sure. So
Gotcha.
That Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party song is pretty good.
dude, it's so good. And there's one with there's a religious one that's like really, really, really fucking good. That's like the South will not rise again until it pays for all its sins. It's like really, really good. Really good. Worth checking out. I just can't remember which one that one's called right now. But it's
Nice.
good.
Double up on that, bro. Yeah,
Good
I mean,
album.
we're getting. It's like all the music from before. Florence and the Machine's coming back too.
Yeah.
Wait, you were talking about Hitch. I was just going to say that I also have that in my honorable mentions. It came along like just at the right time. I feel like
Yeah.
a couple of years later that movie might not hit the same, but it's kind of sweet, and like it also features Will Smith, Kevin James, Eva Mendes, all at their most charming.
True.
Yeah. Damn,
Very
bro.
true.
Eva Mendes. Oh. Oh, damn, she's gone. Shit, mister.
we need
She
her
can come
back.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need her back. Hitch, my original materialist. Anyway, I also have Capote. This was the movie
Oh, yeah.
where it's like, I can't tell you that I'm going to rewatch Capote, but I was stunned by this man. This is where I went, no, they don't make him like Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour
It was
Hoffman.
unbelievable. I followed this being one of my first Oscars. I followed the entire press run and like his campaigning for it and what they do and all that stuff. All the award shows leading up to it. He blew me away playing this character.
Hell yeah.
And then I saw it and I was like, I have no idea what's happening. 3 Burials of Melquiades, I want to say, is Tommy Lee Jones was directing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really big into Westerns and still am. I was like, yo, this man can handle both. And it was like a really good thriller / more of a modern Western in trying to solve this crime. Same thing with The Proposition, which starred...
Guy Pearce?
Thank you. I thought this was like a perfect point A to point B movie as well. So those would be my last 2 little Westerns to shout out there. And then V for Vendetta, which was at my number 11. And yes,
Nice.
it was Guy Pearce. It's a good one. Yeah, I always forget Guy Pearce is, I think, Australian, because this was an Australian movie.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Nice. I've got a few honorable mentions that y'all already mentioned, like Sin City and Hitch and Thank You for Smoking and Brokeback Mountain and Walk the Line, V for Vendetta, A Wallace and Gromit. I've also got a movie called Green Street Hooligans. This really feels like a big year for Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Because this is another one he was in which he gets embedded with a group of West Ham United ultras, the kinds of English football hooligans who like get into fights and break stuff. And it's like this really interesting movie about English football culture that, at least for me as a young soccer fan, made a big impression on me. And he's very good in it.
This looks fire.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's
Worth
good,
catching
yeah.
up with. A History of Violence, one of my favorite Cronenberg
Oh.
films. Very
Forgot that was that
memorable
year.
That's a good call, yeah.
scenes with Viggo and Maria Bello in those movies. But yeah, just like has some of the really gnarliest violence that I can remember in a film. Viggo is really incredible in it. Broken Flowers, which features a really good Bill Murray performance, the Jim Jarmusch movie. Jeffrey Wright, I think, is also very excellent in that film. Nobody's mentioned Mr. and Mrs. Smith yet, and I don't think I would put it in a top 10 list, but it kind of has to get mentioned.
A little bit for the
I'm
cultural.
putting in... That's a top 5 movie for sure. You can cut it. Like
Yeah?
when I say you could cut it with a knife, you name me another movie, bro. When they're staring at each
Yeah.
other like that. That
I mean, look,
that's
that
crazy.
whole
That's
fight scene where they
05?
destroy the
Damn.
house is like one of the iconic action sequences of the mid-2000s. So
True.
memorable movie. Brick, Ryan Johnson's
Oh, yeah.
first movie
Yeah.
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a neo-noir that's really excellent. The Weatherman, which we talked about back on our Nicolas Cage bracket. I really enjoyed that movie, existential dramedy. Not popular to say it anymore, but Woody Allen's Match Point was an important movie in my love for Scarlett Johansson, and
Yeah.
a pretty riveting thriller as well.
Yeah, I forgot that one was 05.
So then let's talk about Mr. Steven Spielberg, who is obviously one of our great film directors, and Art has already brought up War of the Worlds, one of his excellent films. Munich is another movie he released in 2005, and I am putting that in my honorable mention.
Munich was 05 too? Damn.
He had
He would
2?
sometimes back like that. And Munich is a movie that I don't think I have seen since 2005, except for that one incredible shot that constantly gets retweeted into my timeline. I feel like you two both probably know what I'm talking about. It's probably a movie that's worth revisiting. It seems like there's a lot he's wrestling with in that movie. But ultimately, I left it off for War of the Worlds, which is my number 2.
Oh, nice.
Really just riveting blockbuster alien invasion film with Tom Cruise at the center of it. Just so many amazing set pieces. I think for me, this is the best edition of those types of movies where the whole world is ending and we are on the run.
The best,
I just
bro.
think just some heart in your throat sequences. It really is so iconic. Has incredible scenes. Art, you had this way down at number 7 on your list?
Somewhere there, yeah. Then I saw the new one, and I realized everything Mr. Spielberg missed, you know? There was no Amazon ad to get it done, you know, fast enough. Maybe he would have connected with his kid a lot faster.
Maybe I would have had it number 1.
It would have been number 1 on Prime.
Yeah.
No, I love the whole factor of what the alien invasion is, and then also this family that's going through it after... you know, just them being by themselves and him trying to connect with his kids. The way they correlate that is fantastic. We then broke this one down in film school, and they brought up like Spielberg and it being a 9/11 movie, the idea that it was always underneath us the entire time, and I was like, what the hell? You could think about these things. Minority
we didn't
Report
go through
had
all that in Canada. We didn't go through all that up here.
So just the whole breakdown to it, I think it's one of the best adaptations of the story as well. I mean, I don't think anything will beat, you know, listening to it on the radio and thinking it was real, but
Probably not.
I thought it was a really good take of it. I don't know how the effects have aged, but I remember also being really creeped out when they're waiting down in the den and this like Pixar eyeballs coming through just trying to see where Dakota's hiding. Just really fantastic stuff, and I love it.
Yeah, but I think it's also ultimately the scenes with the humans that really resonate. Like
always
the stare into my eyes, or him and Tim Robbins in that one moment. Like it is such a thrilling movie.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the best of the year. Amanda,
My number
is this
2?
time for Wedding Crashers?
It is actually time for Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers is my number 2. I did see this in theaters. I instantly fell in love with it. I feel like the Rachel McAdams character reminded me of like my first ex. So I don't know. It hit on a lot of levels. And it is just one of those movies I revisit like every single year, and it always stacks up. Like I always have a good time watching that movie. I think it really did perfectly nail that like middle zone of being like really funny but like really heartfelt at the same time. It definitely has some moments that like maybe don't hold up the best, but I think they do kind of at the same time. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean-
like, you know, he gets tied to the bed, but you know, but that kid's already weird. It's not like it's just saying all people that are gay are weird. It's just saying this
Right.
kid's weird.
Right, and I think this movie has a little bit of a reputation for being like misogynistic, but I don't really find it to be so much misogynistic. It's just kind of about Lotharios, right? Like,
Yeah, but because
maybe
the whole point is that they're pathetic. Like literally one of the last things that happens before Owen Wilson's character is like, we probably shouldn't do this anymore, is like a girl being like, would you say you're 100% full of shit or just 50? And he's like, I'd like to think 50. Like they are the butt of that joke. Like them being pathetic is like the whole point of that.
I think some people bounce off of the elements of deception that their characters do, but that's also just kind of classic movie hijinks. So I don't know necessarily how to separate
all comes to light.
Yeah,
It's not like one of those movies where like it gets around it and it's never actually addressed. It all comes to light and gets worked through the other time. And honestly, Isla Fisher's character is also a fucking freak. So it's like, you know, like she's great, but like they don't, they let everybody have a turn being a creep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I just recently watched it again on a plane. It's one of my favorite movies to watch on a plane, actually. Just solid movie.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. They're both really quick, and they tend to be the quick one in their respective movies. Yes. And this was like, let's go, dude. Just back and forth, different jokes. I mean, Vaughn still has it to this day, in my opinion. He was just in that episode of Tires, did the exact same bit that he does in this movie, just trying to figure out a way out of the scenario. And I love it. He's so good in it. And like you were saying, just the premise, I do think there's heart in the movie too of them trying to obtain something that they can't because they're always the opposite of what they're supposed to be. Like you're saying, oh, they're mischievous. Sure. If you don't watch Breaking Bad because there's drugs, then you're also missing out on 5 seasons of great television. This has aged better than something like The Hangover, which would have been one of my favorite comedies of that year because of the approach of the jokes that you do. And there it's like they tend to be the butt of the jokes here. as opposed to them making fun of the stuff outside of them.
Yeah, like the whole movie is Vince Vaughn just getting like tortured by Bradley Cooper and just like tackled and shot in the ass and just.
Yeah, that's right. Bradley Cooper plays a really like psychotic dude.
I thought it was Zach for years, and then I watched it with
years.
someone who needs subtitles on, and I realized it was Sack, and then I finally got the sacked lunch joke because I was just like, okay, whatever. His name is Sack.
As a Zach, it bothered me for years why they were mispronouncing my name, but that apparently was not the case.
That was
Very
not the
funny
case.
to think of that as an early Bradley Cooper role.
I know, right?
Given
That's unbelievable.
who he is now.
Yeah.
What a rise for him.
You guys,
That's good.
You guys talked about the cast, specifically Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, and they are so good opposite each other, just bouncing off each other like an old vaudevillian couple or something. But a lot of excellent performances. We talked about Isla Fisher, probably still her most memorable screen role.
It was a stand-up,
Walken,
usually.
very funny. Jane Seymour, very funny in this one too. It's a movie that holds up. And I also, of all the lines from any movie I've quoted in my life, "Ma, the meatloaf,"
Meatloaf.
probably top 5.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's doing in there. I never
Come
know.
on, bro.
It's so good.
Classic. All right, Art's number 8, my number 3. Amanda's number 2 is Wedding Crashers. Art, what do you have at number 2 on your list?
It's my boxing movie, Cinderella Man.
Ooh.
It's just
My guy Paul Giamatti, and
It's
of
so
course,
good.
the legendary Russell Crowe.
I've never seen it.
it's worth it. This is like your old-timey movie production design, performances, all of that. This is that drama that you know is gonna. I mean, it's peak Ron Howard. I don't even know what else to say about it other than it's a perfect period piece. With fantastic performances. We were talking about what's her name having won an award for a movie that she kind of stole from somebody else in what's her name, Renee Zellweger, whatever role she got it for. I think this is even better than
She
that.
got it for Judy.
Judy, yeah, exactly. Like I don't know why Judy and not something.
It was a
better
legacy
like
thing.
this.
They realized they should have given it to her before, so they gave it
And
to
there
her
you go.
here, and they were like, Saoirse will have another chance. And I'm like, you fucks.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why, because they failed at honoring this one right here. I also think both of them just are knockouts together. Ron Howard and Russell Crowe were coming off of Beautiful Mind, so then also have this one. I think it's one of the best boxing movies. I think it's one of the best sports movies, and then it also being a period piece. It's just checking off a lot of boxes, in my opinion, when it comes to different genres of movies in one. Incredible all the way through.
Yeah, I feel like I remember this coming on the heels of it. Yeah, that's what it was. It came on the heels of $1 Million Baby, and we also got Ali a couple of years before. And I wonder if there was maybe a little bit
Saturated.
of boxing movie fatigue by the time this one came out. But
We get
it's
Balboa
not
the following year.
right? Which sort of reinvents it. But I guess there's maybe just like you said that fatigue and overlooked what is a really solid film.
Yeah, no, this one's really good.
My number 1 movie, Amanda had it earlier on her list. I am going with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang from Shane Black. It is just such a fun modern noir detective thriller of sorts. It is the movie that relaunched Robert Downey Jr.'s career. We talked, I forget what movie it was we said earlier, Iron Man wouldn't exist without it. Iron Man would definitely not exist without Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Exactly.
just the dynamic between him and Val Kilmer is so funny. I feel like the way that people are constantly clamoring for a sequel to The Nice Guys, I wish we got a sequel to this one.
How about
great point.
both?
Great point.
Yeah.
How about a combination crossover?
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah, because it's also not just a detective neo-noir, but it's a behind-the-scenes of Hollywood story. It kind of, in some ways, feels like they're almost doing like the Harvey Weinstein story before Harvey Weinstein's scandals breaks. Michelle Monaghan was in this movie as well. First time I remember seeing her in a film. Just a really entertaining and thrilling film that I am happy to rewatch on any occasion. Back when we still, scrolled through channels and I had like 15 different HBOs, I'd always stop and make time for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang when it was on.
Absolutely.
A very, very fun movie.
Yeah, solid as hell.
Yeah. Amanda, you had it on your list as well.
I did, yeah. All the reasons you like it. I think it's just really solid. You get that great performance out of Robert Downey Jr. It's another one that, like Wedding Crashers, I think it's a great plane watch too. It's just like, it'll always keep your attention. big fan. Haven't watched it in a little bit, but so I'm due for a rewatch. But yeah, I just
I
can't
gotta
beat
rewatch
it.
that
I'm a
one
big
too.
fan of those like detective style stories, and I just like the angle that it gets into it from. So yeah, big fan.
Awesome. Glad to know you also appreciate it. Art, have you ever seen that one? It's been a while.
I need to rewatch it, bro.
Yeah.
I want to say I saw that back in my Blockbuster days, but I have not seen it in a while.
Pretty fun cover as well. I like
It
the
is,
poster.
yeah.
What else did he make? Because I feel like I saw
He's Iron Man.
either before or shut up, before or
No,
after.
he did. I'm not joking. He did Iron Man 3. And The Nice
But,
Guys.
but he do that after? What did he
Yeah,
do
Oh yeah,
right
you
in
mean
between?
before.
Yeah,
He did Lethal Weapon, and he did The Predator recently.
because he was in.
But yeah, that was his
Shane was an actor, no?
royalty.
Isn't he in Predator?
Yes, he
Like for a little
is-
bit. That's like the fun
Yes,
fact.
he's an actor in Predator as well.
Yeah. No, I need to get up on this one too.
Let's go to Amanda's number one.
Imagine Me and You.
Ah,
You
Iconic
know-
poster.
It's an iconic poster. It, you know, for as problematic as some of that premise might be, it was again kind of like Brokeback Mountain, one of those iconic movies that really like crashed us into a world with different stories of like love not traditionally shown on the big screen, and I think it really shows up. You've got that Lena Headey performance that's fantastic. The main girl, Rachel, what's her name? The main person's
Piper Perabo?
name. Yeah, Piper Perabo. Thank you. You know, she was pretty.
she's back.
Yeah, she's back. I just think it's really good. I love it. It's really cute, and like everybody kind of has a happy ending by the end of it, which is nice. Like they don't leave anybody high and dry. I actually really like that they didn't have to make the guy she was marrying an asshole to like try to justify what was happening. It really was just like, this is a thing I never even thought for myself because it was never a thing to consider, and now that it's in front of me, I can't like deny that this is the thing that's been wrong my entire life. So I think, you know, not condoning the cheating, but like I don't know, I dig it, and everybody kind of gets to come out on the other side happy. And it again also has a very quotable line with "You're a wanker, number 9."
This is High School Amanda's Carol.
I don't think I saw it in high school, actually. It was one that was like, I think it took a while. For whatever reason, this was not one of the ones that came up on my searching for gay fiction. So I was a little bit late to it, but it's, again, one of those ones that I can watch anytime, has some like personal connection just with some things in life. So it's like, yeah, it's going to be my number one. And Matthew Good was in it as well. He was, so
Matthew
he's had an
Good.
interesting career. So, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, Piper just popped up in. There's a Prime show called Butterfly with Kim from Lost, and she was on there. I was like, bro, we haven't seen this because Alina watched, I think, in Covert Affairs or something. So it's like she's been gone for a while. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, she was like in a lot of stuff in the 2000s, and then it was just
Oh,
kind of
hell
like
yeah, bro.
one
She was
or
a-
one thing.
Cheaper by the Dozen, Rocky Bullwinkle, bunch of good stuff.
Oh, she's
I
in a
remember-
movie that's going to be at TIFF
What's it called?
called Peak Everything, which is a Canadian movie, so it's interesting.
It's
She
decent.
was also in Spontaneous, which I thought was really funny. So she hasn't actually been in a movie in 5 years.
It's been a minute. I remember seeing the one that you have as number one in Mexico of all places. So the entire crowd in 05 had
Yeah.
They were like, "What is going on?" I was like, "This is twisty. This is
Could you
turny."
not
I remember
see
loving
the
it.
poster? Couldn't you not see the poster? What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know what people thought.
Scandalous.
I was a child. I thought it was fantastic.
Of course you did.
I thought it was a good movie. So
Yeah, of course.
it
Yeah.
was dubbed. So I don't think I've seen it in English, which I think is the funniest part.
That is actually really funny. That's funny.
Very cool. All right, Imagine Me and You, the English language version, number one on Amanda's
Yes.
list. Art, what do you have at your number one?
This is a movie, I did see it later, but I'm counting it here because it's 05. It is the reason I had festivals on my list. It is a French film by Michael Haneke.
Is it Caché?
Yeah. You got to tell me how to say it. You have to tell me how to say it, bro. This
Yeah, Caché.
is unreal. It is about a couple who's being
Forgot that was
surveilled
05.
in their home. And what the story is about, and then like what it also represents. I think this ages like all of his films, even better every year.
Yeah.
Like White Ribbon, every year gets better. This movie, every year gets better. The
So
poster
good.
is unreal because to me, I was looking everywhere for this. library cards to colleges, to different libraries around my county, just to be able to watch a lot of these movies. And I would always see it on the poster: New York Film Festival, Telluride, New York, all these different things. Bruh, like, and then you watch and you go, what am I watching at Marcus Theaters? Because this stuff is crazy and none of this stuff plays there. It is the inception of that little bug in me of wanting to see things well outside, things that you don't think are supposed to be for you. Because what is a French film about whatever? And then, the subject matter in this is way more profound than you think it is, and does have to do with a lot more things than just a couple in France. And I'm just going to tell you no more about it. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
And just experience it, and then just listen to the talks about it afterwards. It is a fantastical psychological thriller. That tends to be my thing, thrillers, especially in '05. And this was a movie that blew me away. And we would probably not be here talking about film festivals or caring about film festivals if these movies didn't get me early on.
Hell yeah.
Those are the picks that really matter. That's a great one. I've heard nothing but amazing things from it. I haven't caught up with it, but I think that's Caitlin's favorite film from this year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's really good. On. It's so you got to watch it, actually.
You got to watch it, bro.
And I think you'll have to actually rent it. It's like you'll have to actually pay money for it, I think.
Oh, it's not streaming probably.
No, and the ways to acquire it in other ways do not have English subtitles. So unless you want to learn French. But it's worth it. It's worth renting. I don't think it costs much. I rewatched it recently. I guess I don't know why I didn't realize it was 2005.
I had my library buy it for me. Like, that's how because they allowed you to request it. So it's like,
that's so cute.
I was using that tax money early. I was like, come on, I need to get this. And they got it. So hopefully people are still renting it to this day.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it's been high on my list for a while. So now I have yet another reason to catch up with the Haneke. Great pick, Caché. A lot of awesome picks. Really fun to revisit some of these movies from 20 years ago. Hard to believe all these movies were 20 years ago. But I still watch most of them today. It's a lot of great picks between us. But I think that's it for this edition of Intercut. So thank you all for tuning in. Let us know your favorite movies from 2005. I'd love to see some throwback top 10s or even just isolated picks of movies that you loved from this year. Our show's theme is Green Lightning by Cal Sendry. Thanks so much to them for letting us use it. And you can find more of their music at the link in our episode description. You can catch more from me, Zach Shevich, by following me on Twitter, Instagram, or Letterboxd at ZShevich. That's ZSHEV for Vendetta, ICH. And check out my videos wherever videos are available at Multiplex Show. Amanda, any of these 2000 movies related to something you've done on your channel? I guess you just had that War of the Worlds video, so that's one. I
did, but I didn't mention that on my list. I don't know. I've definitely talked about Star Wars before, so.
We got to get a throwback Imagine Me and You video.
It's on the list. There's a couple. It's like right up there. I got to do Debs first, though.
Another classic.
Classic.
Yeah. So find more from Amanda at Amanda the Jedi. Art, how about you? Anything from your list? Something that you covered in some point on the channel?
No, but it's funny that I was mentioning the Haneke things earlier because I started my channel once Amor came out.
Oh.
So
he's
that
always
would have
been an
yeah.
important filmmaker for you, I guess.
He's just guiding. When he dies, bro, we go, I guess. I don't know.
All right, so before then, you can catch Art's videos at LME Movies. You can catch every episode of the Intercut podcast on iTunes, Pocket Cast, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcatcher is. I use Overcast. And then make sure you're subscribed, not just to the audio podcast, but the video feed as well on youtube.com/intercutpod, where you can watch our 20-plus-year-old faces as we run through the latest in entertainment. Find new episodes of Intercut every Monday, and please leave us a comment, like the video. Consider heading over to iTunes to give us that much requested 5-star review. And you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. You can support us on Patreon. All of those are at Intercut Pod, and those are the best places to get updates throughout the week from Art, from me, from Amanda, from any of the guests that we feature here on Intercut. And also check out the link to our Discord server in the description of this episode to keep the conversation going. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, we'll talk about them again in 20 more years.